I'm Bonnie McDonald, and I'm here today with Design Your Delicious Life TV. And today I'm sitting here with Alana, my yoga teacher, and have a few questions for her because I'm living a delicious life and yoga is part of that. So, Alana, could you just introduce your full name and the name of your company?
Sure. My name's Alana Taylor, and my company is called Think Yoga.
Think Yoga. It's so fun.
Yeah.
What attracted you to yoga?
Gosh, actually, my father had passed away, and I was looking for a way to reconnect with myself, and just I was asking the question why, and so I went to yoga, and it allowed me to release my stress, and it just gave me the opportunity to really tap into the why for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So out of a sadness in your life, you delved into yoga and you found some answers.
Yeah, I did, I think, for me anyhow.
And you're sharing that with the world.
Right. Well, after I decided that I wanted to do yoga, I did it for, 3 or 4 years. And then I decided I wanted to actually teach yoga. I've always coached. I've coached lots of different sports and things. And I felt that I had something that I could offer. And I really loved being able to share that. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I went there.
So Greg and I enjoy your classes very much.
I love having you there.
And I've always wanted to and had never done yoga, but my sweetheart Greg said, let's try yoga. Yes. And I said, okay, let's go for it. And it's been something profound for me as well. Just the wholeness of it.
Right.
And although I was not sure I could do it, I actually am able to do it.
You are.
And getting better all the time.
Every day.
With your help. So what is the practice we're learning at Think Yoga?
Okay, so what I teach is Hatha Yoga. And Hatha Yoga is actually the umbrella of all general practices. Most of the poses that you see in any other practice, whether it be a Vinyasa flow practice or a Yin practice, even if you were to do Ashtanga or some of the more traditional, like such as Bikram, the Hatha umbrella, the names of the poses are pretty much all the same. How they are delivered, the expectation on the length of the holds, that sort of thing. That changes a little bit with each practice, but in general, you're doing Hatha Yoga.
Hatha Yoga. Good to know what I'm doing. And what do you love most about teaching Hatha Yoga?
What most I love about teaching in general is that I can see people progress. So yourself, Greg, my husband, as a for instance, they came to class with a little bit of skepticism and very stiff and cranky bodies, and now after even just a year, they're so much more fluid, so much more flexible, more grounded. I see them much more connected with themselves and other people. Yeah.
That's the grounding. Do you find that that's helpful for people in their total life with the yoga practice?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think yoga is good for everybody. If everybody did yoga, we'd probably be a much happier world. Yeah, for sure.
How long have you been teaching the Hatha Yoga now?
About 4 years now.
4 years. Wow. And then several years before just practicing. So probably closer to 7 years.
Getting up there. Yeah. It's been a while.
Yeah, fabulous. And what do you hope that the students, and we've kind of touched on it, are actually, what are you hoping they'll take home with them?
Gosh, the confidence and the ability to practice at home, the confidence and the ability to try other classes, to step away from what I'm teaching here and say, oh, like I'm on a vacation somewhere and someone else is offering a yoga class, and to feel that they have enough understanding that they could actually go to the class and feel that they belong there and that they would be able to get something out of it.
So we touched on the term expanding prior to the filming.
Right.
Expanding versus contracting.
Right.
So that's exactly what you're hoping we'll do as students, is go expand ourselves a bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We all need to keep learning and growing, and I think it's important that we challenge ourselves and we continue to learn and we challenge ourselves within the boundaries that we have and be okay with where those are. And that's probably the most important thing about yoga in general is I think it allows people to come to a peace with where they're at in their world right now in this moment. So as opposed to saying, oh, well, gee, I used to be able to touch my toes, but now I can't. Go, okay, well, I can touch my shins. I guess I'll work towards my toes, but I'm okay with where I'm at today. And that translates into life. I'm not with someone, I'm with someone. I don't have the job I want, I do. Learning how to not have attachment to what you want to have and be more open and receptive and embracing what you do have. And then when you've gotten to that place, it's amazing how everything else starts to shift and open up and unfold so that the things that you really do desire, you can start to manifest and create for yourself.
So loving our bodies just as they are right at this moment.
Yeah.
During our practice.
Yeah. Not
Not being mad at our bodies, but just being accepting.
Well, yeah, because I think there's an expression that says that, what was I thinking of? When we become, so the term suffering comes through attachment. So, I'm angry or sad or upset because I'm not getting something the way that I expected it to be, as opposed to saying, oh, well, this is what is. Accepting it. If you don't like it, that's okay. You can make changes to that. You can set goals and make plans and put some effort and energy into moving in the direction you want to move. But it's kind of like you need to know where you start. You can't say, well, I'm going to fit into a size 2 bikini but be a size 12 and then get all upset about that. It's better to say, yeah, I'm a size 12, I want to be a size 2, I'm going to move here, if that's what's important to you. And I think along that journey, people start to discover that size 2 isn't what they're looking for. It's not about the size, it's about accepting where you're at and being healthy and feeling good about where you're at the moment.
Can anyone start yoga at any time in their life?
Well, apparently that's the truth,
Yeah.
because I did, you did, many other people have. I think you just have to honor where you're at and not be competitive about it and not jump in and, if someone's been doing it for 15 years and they can do all these crazy fun things, not getting down on yourself for not being able to do those fun things, but just know that you're embarking on your own journey. It's like we all eventually maybe get to Hawaii, but we don't start at the same time. And if I start going to Hawaii, 20 days before you do, I'll get there 20 days before you do, right? Like that's just the way it works, right? Yeah.
What does a class, like a first-time class, look like for a student or feel like for a student?
Well, maybe I should throw that back at you. How did it feel for you when you first walked into my class?
Oh, well, thank you for that. I just wasn't sure. I just was following the instructions, and the gift you gave me is, well, if you can't do this pose, do this pose or do this. So I had options.
Great.
So I didn't feel stuck.
Great.
And luckily for me, I have been dancing for a few years, so I had some physicalness to us, but the flexibility part is where I saw myself going, oh, I didn't know how inflexible I was.
So here's my question to you. When you walked in the door, did you feel welcome?
Oh, yes.
Okay. And
Very
when you
welcome.
left, did you feel like you were part of something maybe a bit bigger?
I felt loved.
Excellent. And then that is what I hope
Yes.
for people.
Yes.
Now, what you do in class, pose, propose, will change based on who's in the class, because we can only take up to 15 people in this particular class. And so sometimes I get 2, sometimes I get 12, sometimes I get 15. And depending on what the energy is when they come into the room, sometimes people just say, I just want to lie on my back and be comfortable. So we do a yin practice. Sometimes they're like, come on, let's get fired up. And so we do kind of flow and power. All the poses are the same, but we integrate them differently.
Oh, now I know the secret. When and where are your classes, Alana?
So they're at a private studio. We call it St. James Studio. And they're Wednesday nights at 7:30 and Saturday mornings at 9:30. And if you want more information, you go to my website and you contact me, and I'll share with you where that is.
Fabulous. And are you thinking of teaching other classes in other places in the future?
Yeah, well, I already teach at Y Yoga, and I've already taught at Om Prem, and I've taught at West Coast Hot Yoga. I've taught at a bunch of different places. I've taught on a dock at the Bay in St. Vincent's Bay for a bunch of people there, and so I've taught elsewhere. But yes, I would like to expand my practice a little bit so I can share what I love to do.
And our last class, you mentioned a 15-day yoga challenge.
Yes.
What does that look like?
Oh, it's going to be so much fun. Well, with summer, it's always a little bit harder to get everyone to come out consistently. So with the help of you guys, we're going to create a little video that we're going to put online, and people can do some Surya Namaskars, which are basically sun salutations. And there's two types. There's A and there's B. One is a shorter version, one is a longer version. We'll kind of put something together that I know that this class knows fairly well. And so my invitation is that you practice it once a day, either morning or night. And opposite to that, you start to work on strengthening your core. And for that, for us, that will look like some planking. One where you either just simply are in your full up push-up plank, or two just on your knees, or three we'll do a little alternate where you can drop one knee up and down like we did last class.
Now that was fun. And how can people learn more about this 15-day challenge? Will that be on your website?
It's going to go on the website. It'll start August 15th. It'll run to the 30th, I guess it will be. And it's basically self-disciplined. You'll just do it yourself, and I'm totally welcome to have people post on either my Facebook. I have a Think Yoga Facebook page that we're launching as well. So
Great.
you can post it on there and just say, oh, I don't like push-ups or whatever you don't like, but you can participate in that way.
Fabulous. So Facebook's going to be a place to touch base.
It is.
Is there anything else like you'd like to share about yoga and your philosophy?
Oh gosh, I just think it's really wonderful for everyone to do. We're really blessed in this case to have this beautiful space to practice in. And I think the more gratitude we share with others and things that are happening in our world, the better our life seems for us. And I think that is something that yoga does. It helps us to sow the seeds of gratitude.
Oh, I love that. That's what it feels like, sowing the seeds of gratitude.
There you go.
Yeah. And lastly, could you say that out loud for us, your website, so that people know where to go, and mention your Facebook again?
Sure. So it's thinkyoga.ca is my website, and it'll be Think Yoga is my Facebook page. And in the website, you'll see my phone number, and you can certainly text me on that. That's just a work line.
Fabulous. Thank you, Alana.
Namaste.
Namaste.